All right, so we're talking, not to interrupt, but I only have 30 seconds left. So we're talking about, when I say airborne, and when you're describing, I think, is like the flu, airborne like the flu. If somebody sneezes or coughs near you, it could stick around in the air. If you breathe it in, you could get it. That's what I mean. Is that where we could be going?
Well, we could be going, or we could be there. It just depends on how long.
Uh-oh, we got connection problems with the guest.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was Dr. Jane Orient, who was on this show the other day. And that answer to that question is just in complete contrast, a 180 from what our government has been telling us, whether it's the White House or the CDC or whomever, and even all the news anchors and the Dr. Sanjay Guptas and all the doctors on TV for the most part. Oh, well, this isn't like the flu. Oh, this isn't airborne, and you could only catch it by coming in direct contact with bodily fluids. And so if that's the case, then why, when they go touch these people, are they all wearing these hazmat suits? Anyway, so joining us now is Dr. Robert Garry, Ph.D., Doctor of Virology at the Tulane University School of Medicine. Hello, doctor.
How are you doing?
Great. Thank you for joining us. I got to tell you, a lot of people concerned, as you probably are aware, especially if your name has a doctor in front of it. I'm sure a lot of people coming up to you constantly asking you about what's going on here. Well, let me ask you, I don't know if you were online yet. We just had a soundbite with Dr. Jane Orient, who was with me earlier in the week. And she said, this could go viral or could go airborne if it's not already. Hasn't this disease mutated over and over and over thousands of times?
Well, our group actually published a study in Science magazine a couple weeks ago where we analyzed the complete genomes of almost 100 Ebola viruses that have arisen in this outbreak. And yes, indeed, the virus is mutating. It's actually mutating faster in people than it is mutated while it was in its natural host, the animals in the rainforest. But I can tell you that we are tracking where those mutations are occurring, and they are not occurring in areas of the virus which would, as yet, allow it to be spread by the airborne route. It hasn't changed its receptors, and it hasn't done some other things that would be necessary for it to become spread, like the flu or measles or some of those other viruses that can be spread by the aerosol route.
All right, well, that's comforting news. But so let me ask you though,
it's important that we keep monitoring the virus.
Yeah.
Keep
that's what I was going to say. If you test it again in a week or a month, would you be surprised to see that it changed into an airborne?
It's absolutely essential that we do keep very vigilant on that. We have more samples coming to be sequenced, the viral nucleic acids coming to do just the analysis that you're talking about there. And we'll be paying very close attention, but as I've said now, there's no indication at this point that the virus has changed in a way that would allow it to be spread in a different way. That doesn't mean it's not adapting to people and becoming a better pathogen for humans, but the aerosol spread, but we don't have to worry about that, at least at this moment.
At least at this moment. Let me ask you this. When people, we hear them say that you can only catch it, if you touch a bodily fluid, et cetera. Do you think that this country is doing enough? When the CDC head says, we can't close off travel from the infected countries, although other African countries have, because it would harm those countries' economies, which I don't see where that's our concern. I know that's a political question, but also that we couldn't get people to go fight the virus at its source, because then we couldn't get them back in. I mean, all you would have to do is make an exception to people fighting the virus to allow them to come back in after an incubation period, but not the general population. So is it that difficult? Would it be to seal the border from those countries?
Well, if you're talking about cutting off commercial airlines to and from those countries, that would make it very difficult. If that's what's contemplated, why?
Yeah.
Well, how else would people get there?
Yeah, why would it be difficult? How would, no,
doctors and
CDC people. Well, I'm saying, like if you volunteered to go fight it, they'd make allowances for medical personnel. Then when you wanted to return, they'd have special procedures for you medical personnel people. Yeah. But just to let anybody back in.
Yeah, that's what we're thinking. That's what would need to be done. But you'd have to go to some other route besides the commercial airlines, because they wouldn't be flying in there then. So you'd have to, have the military or private planes or something.
Yeah. Well, that seems pretty easy and pretty elementary, and a silly reason for the CDC to say we can't ban everybody from coming in from those countries because we have a few medical personnel we need to get over there. But anyway, encouraging news, and I thank you for the education, Doctor. Thank you very much.
You're quite welcome. Thank you.
All right, Dr. Robert Garry, ladies and gentlemen. All right, not airborne yet, according to Dr. Garry, and they're doing extensive research at the Tulane University School of Medicine. When we come back, the Malzberg panel. Don't go away.